Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle the super complex world of diamond prices. We're going to use the IDEX Diamond Index to really see what's driving the value of these incredible stones.
If you've ever even looked at buying a diamond, you know this question is way harder to answer than it seems. You can have two stones that look nearly identical to you, but have wildly different price tags. So, how do you figure out the real market value? For the longest time, figuring out what a diamond should cost, well, it was murky, opaque even. It felt more like a secret art than a data-driven science, which made it almost impossible to know if you were getting a fair shake based on what the market was actually doing. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get to the heart of the pricing problem itself. Then, I'll introduce you to the tool that's changing the game, the IDEX Index. We'll take a peek at what the market looks like right now, meet the specific diamonds that are the heavy hitters, and then wrap up with why any of this really matters to you.
So, the core of the problem really has always been that there was no single trustworthy benchmark. Think about it. Gold has a spot price, stocks have indexes, but diamonds, there was no universal standard to tell you which way the market was heading.
Right. Imagine this. You're trying to figure out how the US economy is doing, but there's no S&P 500, no Dow Jones. You're just looking at individual stock prices, one by one, with absolutely no big picture context. That's basically what the diamond market was like.
So, that was the problem. Now let's talk about the solution. This is where data steps in to bring some much-needed light into this historically murky world. And that solution is the IDEX Diamond Index. And here's the key. This index, it basically is that missing S&P 500 for the diamond world. It takes a massive amount of data on wholesale asking prices and boils it all down to one clear, standard number that gives you a snapshot of the entire global market. And what makes this thing so legit, so powerful, is where the data comes from. This isn't just some random number. It's built on a huge database of inventory going all the way back to 2001. It was developed with some serious academic brainpower from Tel Aviv University. And get this, it's updated every single hour. This is real, hard data. All right, so we've got this incredible tool. What's it telling us right now? Let's take a look at the data for today, December 21st, 2025. As of today, that number is 85.16. That's our baseline. It's the big picture number for the entire global wholesale market, all wrapped up in one figure. But a single number doesn't tell the whole story, right? You need context. Looking back, the market started the year pretty strong, up near 100 in February. But since then, it's trended down to where we are today. That gives us a much better feel for the market's direction. So what does that mean in plain English? It means the wholesale market has been softening. On average, the asking prices for diamonds have been on a downward slide for the past year. That's a huge insight you'd have a really hard time spotting without an index like this. But wait, that's just the average. The overall index is made up of thousands of different kinds of diamonds. So let's dig a little deeper and meet the specific players, the diamonds that are really moving the needle. So which diamonds are really, driving the bus? The index calls these categories drivers. These are the most popular, most commonly traded diamonds out there. And because there's so much activity around them, their price changes have the biggest impact on the whole index. And this is where it gets absolutely fascinating. It turns out the market is incredibly focused. Just three specific categories of round diamonds make up over 27% of the entire market's value. We're talking about the sweet spots, the most popular sizes for things like engagement rings. That's why they have such a huge influence. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Check out these numbers. You can see that 1 carat category is the biggest piece of the pie by far. But notice that price jump. The average price for a 2 carat stone isn't just double the 1 carat, it's almost triple. This really shows you how value just shoots up as you get bigger in these key popular sizes. So let's tie all of this together. We've seen the data, we've seen the trends, but why should you care? Why is a tool like this so important, whether you're a jeweler or just someone looking to buy a diamond? I mean, look at this. It's a night and day difference. We're really witnessing a massive shift here, moving away from that old world of murky pricing and just feelings about a diamond's value, and stepping into a new era defined by data, by clarity, and by the power to make genuinely informed decisions. And that really is the big takeaway here. Access to reliable, clear data empowers everyone. It levels the playing field. Transparency becomes the new benchmark for value. In this market, knowledge is absolutely power. And that leaves us with one big question to chew on. Now that we can see the market with this incredible clarity, with tools like this index, what's next? How is this newfound transparency going to shape the future of the diamond industry, and maybe even change the very definition of what a diamond is worth?